And yes, we are live. Hi everyone, hi, I'm Cryptic Hybrid. Welcome to today's live stream. It's, what is it, it's Thursday, so close to Friday, so close. It's Thursday, September 30th, 13th, sorry, 13th, that's 1-3, not 3-0. September 30th, 13th, what the hell am I saying? 2018, and today we're gonna play a game that I've been waiting for. I've done a preview of it, I've done an interview with its developer. This is Lamplight City. It's a point-and-click adventure game set in an alternate 19th century with a lot of steampunk elements to it. Still set. It's kind of in. Well, it would be in the United States, but it's in a fictitious town. And it's a game where you play a detective, Miles, who has to deal with solving cases when his dead partner is speaking to him. Because he may be insane. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but maybe we'll find out together. Now, Lamplight City launched today, just an hour ago. It's available for Windows, macOS, and Linux on Steam and on Good Old Games. There are links in the description below. Hello, hi with you, hello. So if you want it, it's $15 euro, 11.40, 39, something like that, pounds, British pounds. So again, if you are interested in pretty polished, well, I'll say polished. I mean, it felt really polished with the preview at least, and really interesting adventure game. Then definitely check it out. Again, this is Lamplight City. Now I'm going to load the game where I've pretty much I almost finished the first case. There are 5 cases in the game, and they all take probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours to finish, maybe even more, depending on how good of a detective you are, right? And I finished the first case. This is kind of like the ending of it, and I want to start from here because I've already covered that first case in the preview. So this live stream, I want to check out the second case, the next case of Lamplight City. So we're gonna talk to Constance Upton.
Can we talk?
Who's
I'm listening.
Who's pretty much my friend in the police, basically, and she gives me cases to work on, because I'm no longer the police officer. I was a detective, right, with the police, with the city's police. But when my partner died, I guess, you know, Miles went into a depression and it wasn't pretty, and he quit, and now he's a private investigator. So let's wrap up this first case.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
And we're gonna go for Guy Dumas. We're gonna quit him because he tried to kind of kill someone, but it's a complicated
former
thing.
Servant at Dupré Manor. He used toxic plants to drug Madame Dupré so she appeared dead, which he learned about from her daughter's school
Spoiler.
books.
What was his motive?
That's the thing.
Oh,
I've
he's
learned
wanted that
Madame
his friend
Dupré
was
is
killed.
extremely cruel to her servants. She regularly beats them, and even has a secret room no bigger than a coffin where she places them as punishment. I discovered this secret room and found a dead servant inside. He had died from
That was pretty
asphyxiation.
disturbing, actually.
My God.
A few months ago, Madame Dupré beat Guy's lover Celine to death. He wanted revenge and intended to make Madame Dupré suffer the trauma of being interred alive.
I see.
Constance, I don't think Dumas should be arrested for his crime. He doesn't deserve it. Madame Dupré, however...
Yes, I see what you're saying, and
She
I
should
agree.
pay for her
What about Mr.
crimes.
Martin?
I got a signed confession from Mr. Dumas. You can see the handwriting matches this note I found in the cemetery. That should be enough to release Mr. Martin, as well as giving Guy a head start in his escape from the city.
It's going to be tricky getting the department to look into this, but with the proof you've gathered, it should work. Excellent investigating, Fordham. I knew you still had it in you. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
And that's
Good
true.
evening.
It's gonna happen
I'm
very
looking
soon.
for Madame Laura Dupré.
This is Madame Dupré.
Okay, so they're gonna take Madame Dupré, and
I'm afraid
you know,
not.
we're just gonna go home. Yeah, Charger,
You don't have to worry
Booker.
about it. And Mr. Martin has been... Thank you, Mr. I was...
This guy's free now. I'm skipping over it because I've played this
Addie,
part. So
home.
again, if you want to see the case,
Addie?
check out the
She must still be
preview.
out at her hairdressing appointment. I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes.
And that's
Bill,
my dead
I know.
friend's
I
voice.
told you I'm doing my best to try and find the flower shop burglar.
No, for once, this isn't about him. This is about you.
What?
You want to talk about
What do you
me?
mean, what about me?
What about me?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like with everyone else around you, but it won't work with me. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say.
What? You want to talk about
how we
how
did
the
on this
case?
case?
Yes, that's exactly right. Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. You were one of the best detectives on the force. But ever since you started taking
I
that
still am. Well,
soporific,
good at
your
it.
mind hasn't been as sharp as before. If you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your performance.
What are you talking about? We were able to discover the truth about Madame Dupre.
Yes, but if you were working at your full abilities, you'd have come to that conclusion much
Hello,
sooner.
hello. Oh,
If I
shut
stop
up.
taking
I'm a
it,
good
you won't let
detective.
me sleep through the night. Nothing will change.
Well, things would change if you found you-know-who.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, I say a lot of things.
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to take something?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am or how this works.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard enough as it is. And if, God forbid, Adelaide would
Exactly.
ever find out about...
Hello, Miles.
Oh,
Is there
speaking of the
someone else
devil.
here? I thought I heard you talking just now.
Fantastic. The jig is up. And here I thought we were doing so well, too.
Oh, shut up, dude. Okay, let's see.
No,
I was just going over the case,
just
yes.
going over the case. Thinking aloud, you see.
Ah, of course.
Yeah.
How was your appointment?
I don't want to
Mrs.
lie to
LaFleur
her,
was
but
usual
she'd
bossy
think I'm
and
crazy.
overly picky self, but she gave me a very generous tip.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and bought a new deck of cards.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded a rematch last time we played.
Yes, that would be nice.
Well, you certainly managed to dodge that bullet. I only wonder how much longer you'll manage before one finally hits you.
Alright, so that's the end of the first case, and now we begin the second case, which is 2 weeks later. And I have no idea what's gonna happen because I haven't played this part. So we're gonna check it out together.
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red. Apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would you call them then?
I would call them... the Anti-Steam Society, the League of the Preservation of Blowing Things Up. The Boom Boom Boys! Okay, that sounds like a gay, gay stripper, like,
Something more evocative,
band, but
like
okay.
The Boom Boom Boys.
Definitely gets to the point, I'll give you that. Perhaps you'd best stick with the detecting, dearest. Your nomenclature needs a bit of work.
Well, I think it's about time I
Fair
get
enough.
ready for bed.
All right, Miles, if you must.
That means taking the devil's lettuce. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm gonna go take the substance that makes me sleepy.
Look at
I
that
think.
beat this time of night.
Good question.
What?
Adelaide can handle it for now. I need to take my medicine.
You certainly have your priorities in order. Go on then. Get that bottle of rat piss out of your nightstand and let's get this over with.
Jesus, so judgy. Alright.
Ugh, tastes like the devil's sweat.
You could just stop taking it, you know.
Bill, now is not the time to...
Miles, could you come back out here, please?
Be right there, dearest.
Okay, wait, let me save first. So this is launch livestream 01. That's how the name. Let's go.
Who was that at the door?
A late
What?
night courier. You've got a message from Upton.
Oh, a case. Hi, Tomato. Hello. Fordham, this case makes the last one look simple. Meet me at Ronan? What? SAP. ASAP, it's urgent.
This case is
okay.
rather urgent. She wants me to meet her as soon as possible.
But didn't you just take your soporific? Are you going to be all right to go?
It won't kick in for another hour or so. Should be plenty of time.
All right, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna review the case.
Good luck, dear.
Good night, Addie.
Alright. Time to see what the case is. What do you have here in the casebook? Meet Upton at the Rouen Coffee House. Fair enough. Let's save again. And let's leave. The only option to go. Well, this is my house here. And the Rouen Coffee Shop. That's always full, apparently.
Hello,
Always people in here.
Glad you came, Fordham. Sorry for disturbing you this late.
I need the money. Alright, so let's see. What's so urgent I couldn't wait? Shouldn't a respectable young lady like you be in bed by now? How come I didn't see the wound yet?
Curious to know what's so important that it couldn't wait until morning.
An infant kidnapping in Lyon. A report came in tonight just before my shift ended. The family wants to keep the investigation very low-key. They're afraid if word gets out, they'll have all sorts of ne'er-do-wells making false ransom claims. That's why I suggested they let you investigate first. Head over to 45 Belcourt Street. That's the home of Malcolm and Miriam Harris, the parents of the kidnapped boy.
Wow, kidnapping, that's serious.
Harris? As in Harris Construction Company?
The very same. Owned by Malcolm's father, no less. Now you see why they wanted to keep this out of the public eye.
Indeed. If they manage to get a new transatlantic airship off the ground, it'll be an aura mine. I can see why they'd make an easy target.
Okay.
Don't worry, Upton. I'll get the
Let's
kid back before
be
you can say
confident.
hot toddy.
Hot toddy. I think you're losing your touch, Fordham.
Funny.
And I think you've lost your joke.
Funny.
Try some new material for a change.
Right. Good luck on your investigation. Come see me again once you figured things out. Or if you just need to talk. I'll be here all day tomorrow as well. So feel free to stop by.
Okay, I'm gonna lower the audio bit. The audio is a little bit loud. The sound of the cafe. They're a little bit loud. Okay, let's save. So, okay, let's see the case. Speak to the Harris family. Current case, the Purloin progeny. Charles Harrison, son of heir to Harris Construction Company, has been kidnapped. Who did it and where did they take the child? Alright. Time to start the investigation with the Harris residence. Oh, come on, it's still loud. Okay, that's better.
Mr. Miles Fordham is here to see you, sir.
Very good, Mr. Havelock. Send him up.
Yes, sir.
Nice place you got here.
Good evening to you,
No
sir.
security, I
Good
see.
evening, Mr. Fordham. I'm Malcolm Harris.
I'm terribly sorry to hear about what's happened, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. You were very highly recommended by Miss Upton. She said you'd be able to solve this faster and more discreetly than the police. I admit it's a rather
Of course, the
unorthodox
cops suck.
approach, but we're desperate.
I understand. I'll do all I can to find the kidnapper and bring your son back unharmed.
If you'd like to examine the nursery, it's just through that door to the left. I'll ask you to please try and keep quiet as I just sent my wife to bed. Her nerves are rather shot, you see.
Yes, of course.
Alright. Well, let's see. So let's look around a
I
little
know the
bit
hand and
first.
waistcoat pose is supposed to look stately, but to me it always looks like the person is scratching themselves.
Huh. Okay.
The Harris family certainly has a nice view from which to look down upon the world. I wonder if they use the balcony to give speeches to the gardeners.
Funny. So the nursery is
It's
over
nice to
there.
see that tea is still served here even in times of tragedy.
Well, what are we,
I wouldn't
savages?
get too close, Miles. That vase is probably worth more than your entire building. She looks like she's up to something. I'm sure the only
Bedroom
location the
and
Harrises
globe.
care about is wherever they are at any given moment.
Wow, he's really mean. Just because these people have money doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Jesus, they're bad people. All right, the nursery. Oh, we can
Bears
see
picnic.
the broken window
Something about a
here.
group of giant human-like bears eating together in the woods is slightly unsettling. Look at that.
It's
The
just
kid has
a
a toy
photo.
chest. My sister and I used to have to keep our toys buried in the backyard. Of course, that is because the only toys we had were dead rats.
Funny. Bottle warmer. Wow,
Steam-powered
they have a bottle warmer?
Certainly beats having to do it in the fireplace. Or in the case of my parents, over a barrel fire. Some sort of fuzzy animal wearing a waistcoat. Charming.
It's a furry. What? Oh.
Yeah, the kidnapper left the child's blanket behind. There doesn't appear to be any trace of the silver spoon, though. That's odd. Why
I
is
do
there
have
always
a
blood in the
button.
crib? Yeah, I'm no expert on children, but it seems like it would be dangerous to have around an infant.
Well,
if only the
let's
flower
take
shop
it.
burglar was as easy to find as this clue was.
Okay, so we got the
Nice
button.
mobile. Custom made, too. There'll be no mistaking what family this child comes from.
Oh, oh
Okay,
dear.
let's see what else. What?
Ah, wonderful.
Oh,
Soporific has started working.
yeah.
Well done, Fordham. Now how are you supposed to... What's the word I'm looking for? Instigate.
Solve the case?
I just had it on the tip of my tongue.
Perhaps it's time to call it a night.
Yeah, I need to sleep. This is not good. I need to excuse myself.
Well, Mr. Harris, I believe I've done all I can.
Did you find anything?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I believe I have some leads I can pursue. But the most
I'll have to come back here
important
tomorrow.
thing to do in cases like this is wait to hear from the kidnappers. I'll be back tomorrow morning to continue my investigation and ask you and your wife some questions once you've had time to calm down a bit. In the meantime, I suggest you stay here and get some sleep. Well, I'll need it.
I didn't want to check the window while I was high, so.
Miles,
morning.
wake up. It's nearly noon.
Oh.
So it is.
Oh, that
Why
soporific
didn't you
is
come to bed when you
good.
got home last night?
It was late. I didn't want to disturb you.
So what was so
Oh,
urgent
come on,
about
that's
the case
stupid.
Upton sent you?
I'm trying to track a kidnapped child.
Oh my goodness. That's awful.
Yes, the pressure's on, but I think I should be able to crack it.
Assuming you actually managed to get anything done at the Harris Manor today.
Well, let me know
Yeah,
if there's
yeah,
anything
yeah, I
I
will.
can do to help. Also, we've got company. Mrs. Delacroix is having her hair
What?
done here today, so please make yourself presentable.
You mean I'm not already?
At least do something about your hair. I do have a reputation to maintain after all.
What's
Sure.
wrong with my hair?
Do you really want me to answer that? We'll be here all day.
Oh, shut up. Okay. Shut up. So, we got the loose button. Single loose button found the baby. So that's what we have. There's a clue and there's
and then
the
he
photo too.
said, "Oh, hello there. I don't believe we've met."
Mrs. Delacroix, this is my husband, Miles. Miles, this is Mrs. Delacroix.
Pleasure to meet you, madam.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, young man. Pleasure.
Is everything all right, Mrs. Delacroix?
Oh, yes, everything's fine. It's just that, well, you weren't what I was expecting,
What?
is all.
Keep your head, Miles.
You
She
mean
may be
my
a
skin
close-minded
color?
idiot, but she's just an old lady.
Oh, I don't think she's closed-minded. She's just, let's try What? I don't want to be rude to her.
What were you expecting exactly?
Well...
Now then, Mrs. Delacroix, what was it that you were telling me about Mr. Delacroix and his dogs?
Oh, yes. So, Harold came in and said...
Impressive. She got off pretty easy. I was expecting a repeat of the Parsons incident. You should give Adelaide a kiss on the way out, though, just to make the old bat feel extra uncomfortable.
Why would you do that? Seriously. Okay.
Your book collection has always astonished me. Heaven help you if you ever decide to move.
No, okay, shut up.
Not right now, Miles. I'm busy. We can talk once I finish with Mrs. Delacroix.
Right, you're right. Alright, let's go. Kiss Adelaide goodbye. Let's kiss her goodbye. I mean, she's our wife. I'm not making it to
I look forward
to
your
make
return,
this
my
woman
love.
crazy. Exactly. Okay, good. Let's save and go to the Harris residence where we have to inspect that
some rich people's
window.
baby going to help us track down the flower shop burglar?
Oh, shut up, dude! It's getting me money.
It's possible we might find a lead
Yeah,
for
what
the
is-
burglar during the course of this investigation.
Really, Miles? You really believe that?
Anything's possible.
Yeah, sure.
You remember how many times we encountered seemingly trivial matters which turned out to be important later on?
Well, if you plan on solving this case, you'll need your full wits about you.
I do have my full wits about me. I'm perfectly capable of doing this.
Yes, and I'm perfectly capable of being alive. I just choose to be this way because it saves on the laundry expenses. You can't deny it.
No, you were stupid.
need
That's
to
why you're
stop
dead.
Taking the soporific, Miles. Adelaide has been trying to get you to stop for months, and Upton already suspects something is amiss. Not to mention your little episode last night. Trust me, no one is going to want to hire
Nothing
the killer
happened.
detective.
Clever. Did you come up with that one all by yourself?
What are you going to do when the cases stop coming in? How long before you get put away in Riverview?
If I do get locked away, it'll be your fault.
Which is exactly why you need to get back to your normal routine so you can find the burglar.
Wait, okay, so I'll stop, but if you keep me awake at night,
Alright,
yeah, that's a
fine,
good one,
I'll
yeah.
Stop. But if you keep me awake at night, so help me.
Don't worry, I'm sure you'll find a way to cope. We were always good at that. Well, I'm glad that's...
What is that supposed to mean?
I knew you'd see things my way eventually.
It's not as though you gave me much of a choice.
In time, you'll thank me. Probably not before the withdrawal hits, though.
Don't make me change my mind on this, Bill.
Okay.
Mr. Fordham, you're back. Allow me to introduce my wife, Miriam.
Hello.
A pleasure, Mrs. Harris. I wish we could have met under better circumstances, but I assure you I'm doing all I can to find your son.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham.
Mr. Harris, has there been any communication from the kidnapper?
None at all.
Well, I'll have another look around if you don't mind.
That is suspicious. That is actually suspicious. No communication. I mean... Alright. We definitely need to see that
Miles, didn't you
window.
notice something a bit strange about the Harrises?
Quite a few things, actually. What are you referring to?
His son was just kidnapped, yet they're each on their own side of the sitting room. Not comforting each other, not
Oh.
crying together. Nothing.
They're stuck-up rich people. Not exactly the type to show emotion.
Miles, you know I'm the most cynical person there is when it comes to their type. But this isn't normal behavior, even for snobs. This goes deeper
Their
than saving
type.
face. There's something going on between them. I think you should find out what.
Yeah, they both have lovers.
Nice view of the garden from up here.
But this is a problem.
Look, you can see the balcony extends all the way around the side of the manor.
That would make it rather easy for someone to access this window from the outside.
No evidence of what was used to smash the glass, though. Probably won't be another year or so before the child gets any practical use out of those blocks beyond putting them in his mouth. Be Be careful not to cut yourself, Miles. I don't think the Harris family has ever seen blood that isn't blue.
Funny. This guy really hates people that he doesn't even know.
This fabric looks as though it came from a garment of some kind.
Huh.
Yeah, we should probably
Small
take
emblem
that.
sewn onto the side of this piece of fabric. It just says SS.
Somebody's initials, maybe?
SS. Definitely not Harry yet.
It looks rather flimsy. Let's not try sitting on it.
Okay. Alright, let's look around the house some more.
The Harris family certainly has a nice view from which to look. I wonder if...
Okay, if I can go... So this is the exit. Okay, let's go to the bedroom. I hope there's no problem. Yeah, okay, we're good. Let's see what we can find in here.
Fancy.
Suction
The
cleaner?
poor servant's probably gonna get a flogging for leaving it in here, though. It looks like a pile of women's clothes. Must belong to Mrs. Harris.
Maybe.
Who in their right mind would need that many drawers?
Let's see what we have
Don't
here.
be jealous.
A very poorly written letter addressed to Mr. Harris.
I don't suppose it's a letter of admiration.
On the contrary, the author seems
Probably
quite
not.
upset.
Mr. Harris, this is your weekly reminder. So someone who doesn't really know how to spell. Reminder of how much I hate you. Because of you, my wife is dead. My wife was a wonderful woman, and you have taken her from me. I hope you suffer as much as I have. Arthur Devens. Interesting.
Nothing else of note in any of the drawers.
Oh, well, at least we got to play a rousing game of Search the Rich People's Dresser.
Well, this guy really hates
Wardrobes are usually
rich people.
always full of wonderfully dark secrets.
Well, let's look inside. What do we have
Mr. Harris's
here?
color
Coats
selection
and
is
jackets.
almost as drab as yours.
Let's see if there's anything of interest in any of the pockets.
So, Mr. Harris is a fan of the ponies, is he? I'm sure that's not causing him any trouble at all.
Huh. Okay.
One thing is for certain.
That's
Mr.
interesting.
Harris uses entirely too much starch on his shirts. An empty suitcase. I suppose Mr. Harris must travel every now and then.
Is it empty though? Yes.
Yeah, it seems like this is where Mrs. Harris keeps her unmentionables. I like the ones with the frills and the stitched cat. Paperwork and receipts. Nothing particularly interesting here. More lacy underthings. I wonder which Harris they belong to. Painting
Okay.
of the city. Probably the only time the Harris family sees any of the other boroughs.
Oh my god, this guy is like exaggerating with the
Ooh, another
mean
forepost.
comments.
The Harris family certainly makes no secret of their wealth.
Unbelievable, seriously. Alright. Time to save and start asking questions. Let's see. So, speak to the Harris family, find out who or what SS is. Torn fabric, torn bedding stub. Okay, let's talk to Mr. Harris first.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Let's
me
talk
about
about
yourself.
him.
There isn't much to tell, really. My life has been fairly well publicized in the newspapers.
Let's pretend for a moment that I skip over the society pages.
Well, I'm an investor. My father Clyde runs Harris Construction Company, which I will someday inherit. Any other details about me are fairly trivial nonsense, I think.
Okay.
Tell me about your son.
Charles is a good boy. Very quiet. Miriam had wanted a child almost from the moment we married. You know how women are when they have their
course
hearts
she did.
set on something. I saw no need to rush, but
Nice to know you're not the only one. Hey, Miles.
The first 2 times Miriam was with child, she suffered some unfortunate accidents. She was devastated, as you can imagine. So when Charles finally came along, he turned out to be quite a blessing. I can't imagine what sort of depraved madman would take him from us like this. You must find him, Mr. Fordham.
I intend to, Mr. Harris.
You know what? I wonder if those accidents were caused by someone. Maybe I'm just cynical, but...
I found this letter in your bedroom. What can you tell me about it?
You went through our things?
I'm a private investigator, Mr. Harris. It's part of my job.
Of all the insolence!
You're upset, I know, but do you want me to find your son or don't you?
Yes, of course I do. That letter was sent to me by mistake. It was written to my father. Well, if you can even call that writing.
Have I ever mentioned how much I hate rich people? Because I really hate
you read...
Father.
Okay,
Doesn't he
he's
own the
really
company
annoying
building
at
the
this
new
point.
airship?
Yes, that's right. He's been receiving many letters just like that one since the Lygia disaster. But that Devons fellow in particular has sent one every week, along with a bag of chicken bones and dust.
How peculiar.
Voodoo.
Not only that, he leads a daily protest in front of the construction yard where the HMS Lenore is being built, trying to halt production. My God! How did I not see this before?
See what?
Devons! He has a grudge against this family because of what happened with the Lygia. I'd put money on him being involved with the kidnapping somehow, as a form of retaliation.
I'll just have to speak
Don't
with
jump
Mr.
to
Devons
conclusions.
and see for myself.
Jesus. Alright,
Mr. Harris,
betting
can you
subs,
tell
yes.
me about these?
What? How did you...
Listen, I'm trying to help you and your family. I can't do it if I don't get the entire truth.
Do you think we could discuss this somewhere more private?
I suppose we could.
Good. Let's move to the nursery then.
Really? You wanna talk about that in front of your wife? Okay. That's very suspicious, so she doesn't know about the betting. At least he thinks she doesn't know about the
Mr.
betting.
Harris?
Yes, of course.
How goes the construction of the new airship?
There have been some complications, but nothing we can't handle.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, I already told you about the trouble with protesters at the yard, and we're blocked pending Royal Maverick's review of the safety regulations for the prototype etheric diffusion engines. Agitators and red tape aside, we should still be on schedule to have the Lenore finished and in the air by the end of the year. But really, Mr. Fordham, what the deuce does this have to do with finding Charles?
He has a point, you know.
Well, we'll see.
Now that your
Tell me
wife is out
about
of
the
earshot,
kidnapping.
tell me about the kidnapping and what these betting stubs have to do with it.
I don't know much. I was out last night while it happened.
Where had you been previously?
I had just come from spending the evening at the Meadows.
I see. I take it your wife isn't impressed by your hobby?
I promised her weeks ago that I would stop going, but I've had such a good streak lately. The last thing I wanted was to upset her further, yet it would be foolish of me to just give up on something so promising.
Promising? Come on,
Think
you're
of anyone who
betting.
might want to do you harm by taking your son?
Several, I'm afraid.
Go on.
I haven't exactly had the best of luck, Mr. Fordham. That's why this latest streak was so important to me. The truth is, I've gambled away most of my money. I've had to take out several loans so
great.
Miriam doesn't get suspicious. If she ever found out, it would be over. I can't lose her, Mr. Fordham. I just can't.
Where have I heard this before?
Then
You
stop
know,
betting!
it'd be so much easier if people just talked to each other.
I've tried doing business above board, but lately I've had to seek other resources.
What do you mean?
I was forced to visit a lending office. The owner was a rather shady sample,
great.
but I figured he'd be easier to deal with than the usual sheenies that run those type of places.
Can you believe this guy? Maybe we should just leave the kid be. He'd probably be better raised by wolves.
Who was the owner?
Mr. LeFay. I didn't bother to get his first name. His business is an abattoir row in Chumley. Horrid place, but I was desperate.
You think this Mr. LeFay
It's
may
okay,
have
we're gonna
taken
visit
your
him.
son as collateral?
Let's just say there isn't much those type of people wouldn't do to put a crown in their pocket.
Okay. Can I save? No. Okay.
Found
Tell me
this
about
button
the
in your
button.
son's crib. Does it look familiar at all?
No, not at all. Do you think the kidnapper might have left it behind?
It's a distinct possibility.
Very likely.
I found this
Okay.
bit of torn fabric by the broken window. Do you know anything about it?
Looks like it came from a piece of clothing. Possibly a jacket.
Did the initials SS mean anything to you?
Maybe? I can't really say. You'll have to excuse me, Mr. Fordham. I've got quite a lot on my mind right now. If I can think of anything, I'll
Yeah,
be
that's
sure to let
understandable.
you know.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right. If you don't mind, Mr. Fordham, I'm going back to the living room. I don't want Miriam getting suspicious.
Sure. Okay. Very important. Save. Now let's review. So we had to find out who is this. Speak to Arthur Devins. Speak to Mr. LeFay, the money lender. Message from Upton, letter from Arthur. Okay. Let's ask his wife. Because he wasn't home when the kidnapping happened, so maybe she knows more. Maybe she
I
heard
have some
something.
questions
I don't
for
know.
you if you're up to answering them, Mrs. Harris.
I'll try my best, Mr. Fordham.
Tell me a bit about yourself,
Oh.
Mrs. Harris.
Mr. Fordham,
A little
my
bit.
son has been kidnapped and is out there alone, terrified and confused. What could I possibly tell you that would make any difference to you finding him?
I suppose you're right, Mrs. Harris. My apologies if I upset you.
What? Just answer the
Tell me about your
questions.
son.
Charles
Okay.
is our only child. He's such a good boy. Never makes a fuss.
He's a good
Always
boy.
Very sweet. Oh, Charles, you must be so frightened out
How
there
old is
without
he?
Your mother. Oh, please, Mr. Fordham. You have to bring him home.
I'll do my best. Tell me what you know about your son's kidnapping.
Oh, my poor baby.
Mrs. Harris, I know this is difficult, but I need as much information as you can give me so I can bring your son back.
Yes, you're right. I have to stay strong. For Charles, it happened
Exactly.
sometime between 6 and 8 last night. I think both my husband and I had gone
6
out.
and 8.
Charles was in the care of his nanny, Mrs. Davis. I arrived home first.
Okay, Mrs.
around
Davis, I'm gonna talk to her.
8:30, and that's when I found the scene in the nursery, as it was.
And what was it you found?
Mrs. Davis, unconscious in her chair, the broken window, and Charles missing from his crib. Malcolm arrived home shortly afterwards, around 9, and then immediately sent our butler, Mr. Havelock, to notify the police. We stayed up waiting for any contact from the kidnappers, but there was nothing.
You said you arrived home first. Where were you last night?
Oh, I was visiting with some of my friends. We gathered at one
Ah,
of their
she's
homes for a
lying.
concert.
I see. And your husband?
He was at the social club with his friends as well, I believe.
Wait a minute.
They're
I
both
know
lying.
This attitude all too well. This woman is hiding something, most likely from her husband. I doubt it's voices
Well-
from beyond the grave. So the question is, what's her secret?
Okay, so Francisco, hello. Yeah, of course I was going to play. Come on, it's launch day. Congratulations. Of course I'm gonna play. I mean a launch live stream to tell people about Lamplight City and how cool it is, and you know that they should get it. And it's only $15. Yeah, of course I was going to do this, and especially since you know I wanted to play the case and see what's gonna happen. Okay, so. I'm gonna have to talk to the nanny. That's the next thing, probably. She's lying. They're both lying to each other. I suspect. See, this is like my first. This is me watching. You know, South American telenovelas in the mid 90s. She had 2 miscarriages until the first child, until Charles was born, Charlie. Okay? The kidnapped child. So I'm thinking that members of the Harris family drugged her or gave her something to cause the miscarriages the first 2 times because they thought it was too early for them to have a child, and you know maybe they were thinking that she is you know just a gold digger. Maybe she found out, maybe or I don't know, or Mr. Harris doesn't have such good, you know, Yeah, maybe that's the thing. No, I still think she has a lover, and I think something happened with the two. You don't just get 2 miscarriages out of nowhere. Like, if you have 2 miscarriages, I mean, she looks fairly young. You know, it's suspicious. I gotta say, it's suspicious. But,
what can you tell me
yeah,
about
let's talk about Miss Davis.
Well, she's worked for us since Charles was born, a little over 6 months ago.
How did you come to employ her?
Malcolm's mother had a friend whose daughter she used to care for. She came highly recommended. We've never had any problems with her. She's always been a dream.
Where is she now?
In her room, I would guess. With Charles missing, there's little for her to do.
Where might I find her room?
There's a small building just around the back of the manor. Hers is the 4th door from the left.
Okay. So
Can you
definitely need
think
to
of
talk to
any
her.
reason why your son would be a target for kidnapping?
It could be that someone wants our money, or some lunatic who's angry about the new airship. My husband's an investor, and my father-in-law owns the company building it, you see. I just don't know, Mr. Fordham. Frankly, the fact that something like this could even happen is just terrifying.
Well, it is suspicious that I didn't get any contact from anyone asking for money. So maybe money is not the primary motive for the kidnapping.
I found this button in your son's crib. Does it look familiar at all?
No, I don't recognize it. It looks like it came from some cheap coat. Is that what the ruffian who took my baby was wearing?
That's what I'm trying to determine.
Maybe.
I found this bit of
Tell
torn
me about
fabric
this
by the
fabric.
broken window. Do you know anything about it?
No, I've never seen it before. Do you think it was left by the kidnapper?
Perhaps. Did the initials SS mean anything to you?
No, I can't think of anyone or anything I know with those initials.
That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
I can think of something,
Very well.
but not the right time period. Alright. So they're both lying to each other, that's an issue. But they're definitely both worried about the child. Maybe she's more worried. Okay. Gonna have to talk to Davis. Mrs. Davis. Oh, she looks like a lovely old woman.
Good day to you, ma'am. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. I'm looking into the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Are you Mrs. Davis?
I am. Oh, bless the spirits. They've sent someone to help at last.
Yeah. And you're the primary
Another Harris
suspect.
hand-me-down, no doubt. You'd think they would have washed it first. Another
Okay. Oh, come on.
It's a spirit reaching out to a very frightened man. Possibly the fakest looking photo I've ever seen. Seems like that
Maybe she
boiler's
likes
the
fake
only thing
photos.
in here that's less than 10 years old. My mother had a pewter teapot as well. Always made the tea taste funny.
Oh, gives flavor, I guess.
Painting of a tower on a Scottish moor. I wish I'd been able to make it over there.
Well, you can. You're a
This looks
ghost.
like a
You can go
mourning
anywhere,
portrait of
right?
a young woman, probably a relative of Mrs. Davis. Painting of a misty forest with a cemetery in the background. Cheery stuff.
Well, she doesn't have much
Her Majesty
longer to
Queen
live,
Jessica.
so.
This was clearly painted a long time ago. Pretty distinguished looking gentleman. Handsome. Good fashion sense. Wonder who he is.
You're right. We don't know.
These are all books on spiritualism and the occult. Mrs. Davis doesn't seem to have many other hobbies. The Harris
That's an
family
interesting
doesn't
hobby.
seem to hold the comfort of their servants in very high regard. I think a bed of nails would be an
Come on, that's not a bad bid.
A boy taking a nap
come
under a
on.
tree while his dog runs around in the distance. That brings back some good memories.
I don't know what's wrong with Bill. He hates rich people. Must
I
be a
have some
Democrat.
questions for
Okay.
you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Oh, look how that's an interesting
long
brooch,
have you
though.
worked as
Anyway,
an
let's see.
Only a few years. I never had to work when I was married. My husband had a lot of money. Unfortunately, he was in great debt. And after the spirits took him back to the ether, I wasn't left with much. So I began working as a nanny to make ends meet. But I consider taking care of children a reward in its own right.
Right. Okay. You're still
Tell me about
forced
the
into it,
kidnapping
though.
of Charles Harris.
Oh dear, may the spirits forgive me. I feel so awful. Charlie was my responsibility, and I failed.
Mrs. Davis, that is beside the point. What's important now is finding him and bringing him home. To do that, I need your full cooperation.
Oh, you're right, Mr. Fordham. I'm sorry. I just need to collect my thoughts, get the negative vibrations out of my mind. Now, what specifically would you like to know?
Well, I would like to know. I would like you to tell me where the drugs are. Sorry, that was bad. Anyway, let's see. Time of kidnapping. Yes.
I'm not entirely sure. I know I was in
Oh,
the
come
nursery
on. You don't know
having a
anything?
cup of tea about 8:30. I remember feeling very drowsy. I must have passed out then, because the next thing I knew, I was being woken by Mrs. Harris. That was after she got home, about 10:30. To think,
She lied to me.
Took Charlie did it while I was
Right?
in the room. Oh, may the spirits grant me
She-
peace.
Do you happen
Miss
to take
Harris
any sort
lied
of
to me.
sleep medications or soporifics?
Oh, dear me, no. Those types of drugs cloud the mind and make it impossible to tune into the ether.
You say that as though it were a bad thing.
I beg your pardon?
Apologies, I spoke out of turn.
Hmm.
Can you think of anyone who would
Okay.
have wanted to take the child?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but I am quite sensitive to the energy and vibrations that people give off. I get the impression that Mr. and Mrs. Harris aren't very happy in their marriage.
Ah, come on. Anyone could have picked
Okay.
up on that. Anyone except you, that is.
Mr. Harris likes to stay out late and not take his wife with him. I can't remember the last time they went out together. I don't know what he gets up to, but it's possible he may have made some enemies.
Okay, that.
Can you
Not
think of any
exactly-
reason why someone would want to kidnap Charles?
It might have been for money, but last I heard, there was no demand for a ransom. I honestly don't know why this happened, Mr. Fordham. I just hope you find the poor child. He must be scared to death.
He's like what, 6 months old? I mean, doesn't really know much about what's
I found
going on
this piece
around
of
him.
torn
So.
fabric in the nursery. Does it look familiar to you?
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're freaking useless! You don't know anything. Not even when the child was kidnapped. Maybe she was drugged though, because if she fell asleep, maybe someone put something in her tea.
I found this button in the baby's crib. Do you recognize it?
Why, yes. That's one of Barney's eyes.
Barney.
Charlie
What's Barney?
said,
What?
Yeah, it's his favorite toy, a gift from my friend Linda.
I didn't find a stuffed bear in the nursery.
Then whoever took the baby must have taken Barney as well. Oh, at least the poor thing has something to comfort him. Bless the spirits.
You know, this reminds me. This reminds me of, oh, what the fudge, what was that TV show? There was a procedural, like, crime thing. And it had a case. Was it Castle? I think it was Castle. Where there was a baby that was kidnapped. And the kidnapper took one of the baby's toys. His favorite toy. The boy's favorite toy. The baby's favorite toy. And like that they realized that it was someone who knew the baby and knew to take that toy in order for the child to be more comfortable. And it eventually, spoiler if you didn't watch Castle season, I think 2 maybe, the mother told someone from her family to kidnap the child. So maybe there's something there. Someone knew to take Barney.
Linda.
Maybe Linda?
Mrs. Linda Walker. She's a good friend of mine. As I said,
Who is
gave
she?
me Barney as a gift for Charlie.
Can you tell me anything else about her?
When?
Oh, she's a lovely girl, very much in tune with her spiritual nature. I greatly enjoy my conversations with her.
When was the last time you saw her?
Oh, I don't remember. No, wait. It was at the last Spectre Society meeting on the 19th. That's right.
Spectre Society?
What is the Spectre Society?
It's a club for spiritualists and amateur investigators of the paranormal. We meet twice a month to socialize and discuss our findings.
I see. Sounds fascinating.
No, I don't expect you to share.
Definitely to look into that.
Fordham.
Oh, I have a bit more experience than you'd think with regards to the spirit world.
You can say that again.
Where exactly do these meetings take place?
At a private residence in Gascon.
May I have the address?
Why, yes, it's 325 Rue Jameau. Are you going to seek spiritual guidance to find Charlie?
Perhaps.
No, I'm gonna
Never
question
know, it might
Linda.
be worth looking into.
Sure, but I'm gonna question Linda. That's the first thing.
It's a lovely portrait. Who is it of?
That is my late husband, Jonathan. He used to attend meetings of the Spectre Society with me, bless him. I tried to get him to be more in tune with the other side, but I think he was just humoring me. He was a good man. Everyone at the society cared for him very much.
Okay.
Do you have Linda Walker's address?
No, I don't. I never visited her home. I get the
Right, so we need to go to the
doesn't
society.
like having visitors or being home very much. She prefers to meet people elsewhere. I was the same way.
that's
after
suspicious.
My husband died. It was embarrassing for my friends to see me living so differently. But I feel it's not just a matter of pride for dear Linda. I think there are lots of bad memories associated with where she lives. I try to stay away from places like that. They leave a mark on the soul, you know.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Could have been more helpful, old woman.
That chest is full of...
What's in the chest?
Undressed dolls? What the hell is wrong with this old bat?
Huh. Alright. Well, let's save and review quick. Okay, learn about Linda Walker at the Spectre Society. Right, that's definitely one of the things. Mrs. Davis says that she was drinking tea. Then was... Didn't Miss Harris say that she came back at 8:30? Let's go. Harris Construction Yard, Lending Office. Oh, look at that. The Spectre Society. No, let me see if I can talk to Mrs. Harris again. And
Sit tight,
confront
Mrs.
her about
Harris.
that, because I think she lied to me. Oh, okay, so she doesn't want to talk. Okay. Let's go to the construction yard first.
And so we
Oh.
say to Harris and his cronies, no, we will not stand for this. Too many have died to allow this to continue. Steam tech must be stopped. The time has come to reject steam machines. They take our jobs, they take our families, they take our lives. We won't stand for this injustice any longer. Clyde Harris has no concern for the people who died aboard the Lygia or their families. The only thing that matters to him is lining his pockets with the misery of others. To this we say no. We will not just stand by and watch another bringer of fiery death hover over us. Mark my words, the HMS Lenore will not fly! And so we say to Harris and his cronies, no, we will not stand for this. Too many have died to allow this to continue. Steve Tech must
Okay. Well, that's really loud. So, first of all, this guy looks a little bit like George W. Bush.
Someone certainly wasn't shy about making their opinion known.
Murderers.
Rich people really do like making others aware of what's theirs, don't they?
Yeah, because it's only rich people who care about property.
Impressive piece of machinery.
Jesus.
I suddenly remembered a joke. What's the difference between the HMS Lenore and Chief Snelling? One is a greatly disliked and untrustworthy sack of hot air, and the other is the HMS Lenore.
That is funny.
People have jobs they need to go to.
No, of course they don't have jobs.
Boy, the man of the people. I think that's preaching to the choir around here.
Clyde Harris has no concern for the people who died.
Pardon me, are you Arthur?
Alright,
Devins by any
chillax.
chance?
Yes. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. Could I ask you a few questions?
Guess so. Yeah.
You seem very
Tell me about
dedicated to your
yourself.
cause.
I'll take that as a compliment, Mr. Fordham.
There's quite a lot of people who are against steam tech, aren't there?
Yes, the movement is gaining ground and growing rapidly, I'm pleased to say.
I've heard stories about some more extreme members. Do you know anything about that?
You mean the Redites? Sure, I've heard of them. Even met a few. But if you think I'm telling you anything else beyond that, you're sorely mistaken.
Are you a member of the Redites, Mr. Devins?
No. I prefer more peaceful methods of making my voice heard. Now, if you don't mind, I think we should drop the subject.
Fair enough.
Why are you out here protesting?
Because what Harris Construction is doing ain't right. I lost my wife in the Ligeia crash, and I'm not the only one, neither. Hundreds of people were affected by that disaster, and now these bastards are making another airship. It's like a slap in the face to everyone who died. I just can't understand it.
What do you hope to accomplish by protesting?
Simple. We want construction of the Lenore stopped, and a full investigation into the Ligeia disaster. Not only that, we want compensation for our losses. Royal Maverick took care of all the families of those on board, but the families of the ones in the park didn't get a single copper. It just isn't fair. We aim to make things right. After that, it'll just be a matter of time before people realize that there's no future in steam tech, and they'll call the whole thing off.
Ah, the innocence of the downtrodden. I wish I could be as naive as them. It would have made my life a lot easier.
Alright, let's see.
must have
Let's
loved
talk
your
about
wife
his
very
wife, yeah.
Are you joking? I loved her more than there are stars in the sky. She was my whole world, Mr. Fordham, the light of my life. It's been nothing but cold and dark since she was killed. You're married, aren't you, Mr. Fordham? I see a ring on your finger.
I am, yes.
Then take my advice. Appreciate every moment you have with her. You never know when she'll be ripped out of your life, leaving you with nothing.
You know, this fellow was actually pretty wise. Maybe we misjudged him.
Well, I don't know about wise, but if he's... if he's so... you know, compassionate when it comes to loved ones, even someone he didn't like, he probably wouldn't want them to have their child kidnapped, you know, because he lost his wife. I'm sure he wouldn't want other people to lose their loved ones, even if he didn't like those people. He doesn't seem that bad, but I don't know. That's just my first impression.
You recognize this letter, Mr. Devins?
How'd you get that? That wasn't meant for you.
I found it at the home of Mr.
Of course not.
Harris. He tells me you've been sending quite a few of these to his father.
Me and everyone else what had someone killed by that devil machine. I'm not the only one, you know.
Perhaps not, but he told me you were the most persistent. What have you got against the Harris family?
The family? Don't know nothing
Everything.
about the family. The only one I got a problem with is Clyde Harris, the one who owns this yard. He's just like all those other rich bastards with their heads in the clouds. The man don't care about the dead. He just wants to make as much money as he can. I'm just trying to make him realize how wrong he is.
Interesting.
Do you know anything about the kidnapping of Charles Harris?
Charles Harris? Who's that?
Clyde Harris's grandson.
I didn't even know he had a grandson. I can't believe someone with a grandkid, a family, would want more flying death in the air. How many more people have to die before someone realizes that steam machines are evil? People will kill their own mams for a crown these days.
Good day to you,
Okay,
Mr.
well, I
Evans.
want to end the conversation a little bit. Because I want to save, because maybe there's something here that
Mr.
I would
Devins?
ask him and it's not
Yes?
gonna go well.
Mr. Harris told me you send a bag of chicken bones and dust along with your letters. Why is that?
Chicken bones? Dust? Nah, that's not right. I've only sent letters.
Are you certain of that?
Yes, as sure as I'm standing here.
Right. And I'm the queen. I get the feeling this guy will crack if we figure out what the significance of his little gift is.
Does this piece of fabric look familiar to you?
Looks like it came from some fancy jacket. The type you'd expect to see on the snobs in Leon. I could never afford clothes like that in a million years.
Do you recognize
But this button you could.
Can't say I do, but it looks handmade. I wonder how long it will be before the poor soul who crafted that button gets booted into the street and replaced with some steam-belching contraption.
Good day to you, Mr. Devins.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
Well, they won't be replaced by a steam contraption. They'll be replaced by, you know, teens in Bangladesh. No? Okay. I need to go somewhere quiet a little bit. Let's go here. I need to
Hello,
concentrate.
I didn't.
Oh, not long ago. Within the hour.
What?
You should go see
Oh,
them.
they called?
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. I shall.
What? What the fudge? What did that happen? Okay, wait. First of all, let's review the case. Find the significance of Arthur Devon's gift. Let's see. Letter. So I got the letter. Okay. I didn't know that to get. Okay. This is big. This is big. This is huge. Tell me what happened.
Oh,
What was the message?
Mr. Fordham. Oh, thank God you're back.
What's going on?
Our butler just brought this in. He found it stuck to the gate outside.
Harris family. We have your son. See, the writing is so bad. Maybe someone's trying to set up that protester. If you ever want to see him again, you must stop building the new airship. We are not joking. You know what? I think he's using that in order to stop the construction of the airship. I don't think he kidnapped the child. That's interesting. I really don't think he kidnapped the child. He just found out about that.
Yes, of course.
What is your opinion of this ransom note?
It's obvious who sent it, Mr. Fordham. Why are you wasting your time here? Go arrest Mr. Devons!
Those are
He's
all the
not the
questions I
kidnapper,
have for
man.
now.
All right.
He is not the kidnapper, I'm sure of it. Okay. Yeah, I know, I'm saving often. Alright, so let's go to the lending office. There should be some shady
Hello,
people
sir.
to talk to.
Welcome to LaFay Lenders. I'm the owner, Chester LaFay. Are you looking to take out a loan?
Not today, I'm afraid. I'm
Not
Miles
really.
Fordham, a private investigator.
Look, I don't know what you've heard, but I run a clean business here. I don't need any trouble.
And I'm not here to cause any, for the moment.
Just keep your nose where it belongs. We should get along fine.
I really like this rug. It reminds me of a rug
Do
that
you
we
suppose
had here in
LaFay
the
turns
house.
the heat up to put some pressure on his clients? Must be
Maybe.
soothing for LaFay to be able to look at this landscape while he sits at his desk. He actually has a degree in business from the University of New Britannia? What a waste.
Yeah, he bought it.
LaFay
He
was
bought
a
it,
woman and
I'm
a
telling you.
small girl. I wouldn't have taken him for a family man. A crew escaping a shipwreck on a violent sea. Not the most comforting painting to look at while waiting for a loan. I shudder to think
Life
how
is
many
short.
people's financial freedoms are locked away in that cabinet. That's the latest model Computron. They don't come cheap. LeFay must be doing pretty well for himself.
Okay, well, let's talk to him. Oh wait, no.
Mr.
Actually,
LeFay,
well,
I'd like to
yeah.
ask you some questions.
Fine, but keep it brief.
Tell me a bit about
Let's talk about
yourself and your
himself.
business, Mr. LeFay.
What's to tell? I lend people money, they pay me back.
Surely it's not that simple.
Well, of course I charge interest, otherwise I'd never make a profit. I know people don't look upon the service I provide very favorably, but without my help, there would be a lot more unhappiness in the world.
How did you go about starting up this business?
I didn't. My former employer, Mr. Roth, left it to me when he passed.
That was rather good of him.
Yes, well, he didn't have any heirs, and he considered me to be the son he never had. He was fond of my family, too. I try and keep my work and home life as far away from each other as I can, though. There's a lot of things in this line of work that my wife and daughter are better off not knowing about.
Like what?
Tell me what you know about Malcolm Harris.
Ah, Mr. Harris. Took out a loan about a month ago. Still hasn't paid me back. In fact, he sent along a letter yesterday, saying he was having an emergency and needed more time. I probably should have refused to do business with him. As soon as he walked through the door, I could tell his type.
What type is that?
Upper
Really?
class, bored with his life, trying to escape and doing it through vice. In his case, gambling.
This guy is good.
Wow.
Maybe you can pursue
Yeah,
money
exactly.
laundering if the whole private investigator thing doesn't work out.
But for some reason, I pitied him and decided to give him the loan anyway. Compassion isn't exactly an asset in this business, you see.
Nothing to worry about in your case, then.
Aside from that, I don't know anything about him. I prefer to keep how much I know about my clients to a minimum. Makes things easier for me.
Really? But it makes it harder to know who's gonna pay you
think that's
back
all
or
for now.
not. Wait. It's not. I just wanna. I can't save during the conversation. I wanna. If something happens, I wanna
Got some more
load
questions, Mr.
and not
LeFay.
lose
Go
too
ahead
much.
then.
Okay.
Exactly how much did Mr. Harris borrow from you?
Is that relevant to your investigation?
It would help to have
Yes.
an idea of exactly how much he owes you, yes.
I don't feel comfortable telling you the exact amount, but I will say it was over 500 crowns.
A considerable sum.
Like I said, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I'll get the money back one way or another.
What's
Fair
your
enough.
policy regarding people who don't pay their loans back?
There are a few options.
Yeah, we kidnap the
First
children.
3 months or so, I'll send them a letter reminding them. After that, I start to threaten them with legal action. You wouldn't believe some of the things people do to avoid paying back their loans. One client went so far as to fake his own death.
Do you ever employ any more
Really? Who's that?
unusual methods?
If you're implying that I do anything illegal, Mr. Fordham, you're mistaken. Look, I have a family to consider. I'm not about to go getting my hands dirty when there's plenty of legitimate ways to handle the situation.
Okay, let's say
Take
I
a look at
believe
this
him.
piece of fabric. Does it look familiar to you?
Sure, it looks like it came from a jacket. In fact, yes, it's the same fabric as the jacket I'm wearing.
Would you mind if I took a look at your jacket?
Sure, not a problem. Here.
Doesn't seem to have any ripped parts. No, I don't think so. Okay,
No
thank
tears in
you.
mine, huh?
Not a one. You
Nope.
clearly take good care of your clothing.
I don't mean to discourage you, Mr. Fordham, but I've seen a lot of people with this style of jacket. Hell, even Malcolm has one. I remember he was wearing it when he came in here.
I see. Thank you for the information, Mr. LeFay.
That is interesting. Wait, we're not done. Wait, there's one more question. So maybe Malcolm faked the
Got some
kidnapping
more
of his
questions, Mr.
child?
LeFay.
Go ahead then.
Are you aware that Malcolm's son Charles was kidnapped last night?
I had no idea he even had a son. As I said, I don't ask my clients too many personal questions. Though now you've told me, I suppose that would explain the emergency he mentioned in his letter. Poor guy.
I think that's all for now.
Wait. Would he have used his child's kidnapping as an excuse to delay the loan? Oh, that would be screwed up to a spectacular degree. Oh, can't be that. Come on. That will be screwed up Let's see if we can talk to him. Or check the bedroom again. But I don't think, because I've seen the jackets.
You don't suppose...
No tear on this
about
one.
that?
Oh, come on, look at
A
it!
piece of torn fabric perfectly.
So, this means...
Are you kidding
Many
me?
things. The only thing that's certain is that a piece of this jacket ended up on the floor of the nursery.
Seems like something worth asking Mr. Harris about.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay. Right. Let's see. Find out the significance. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, it would be too easy if he just confesses to me. He's like, yes, I killed my child.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Mr. Harris, do you recall the torn piece of fabric I found in the nursery?
Yes, what about it?
As it turns out, one of the jackets in your wardrobe has a tear exactly the same size and shape as this one. Would you care to tell me how that happened?
That can't be.
I'm afraid it is. So
can.
explain it.
I have no explanation. The truth is, I haven't worn that jacket in weeks. I've no idea how it was torn.
Are you suggesting someone else took your jacket and wore it when the child was taken?
I don't know. Perhaps someone is trying to make it look as though I... But that's absurd. Why would I kidnap my own son?
Why indeed, Mr. Harris.
You really think he kidnapped his own son, Miles? Seems more likely he was set up. But he also doesn't strike me as a terribly good parent. Maybe it would serve him right to be blamed for this. We've done our part. The police can handle the search for the missing baby.
Those are all the questions I
No,
have
not
for now.
exactly.
All right.
Yeah, that didn't help much, but we got a suspect, Malcolm Harris, father of kidnapped child, fabric from his jacket, in heavy debt due to gambling loans. Okay. Well, we still have to. Can I talk to her
I have some
about
questions
anything?
for you.
Okay, let's see.
Did you read the ransom note?
Oh, the ransom note, yes.
Malcolm wouldn't let me. He said I was already too upset.
That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
Very well.
Okay. Let's go to the Spectre Society. What could happen here?
Too dark to tell what's inside. I must enjoy the somber atmosphere. I wouldn't like to have a street lamp right outside my window. Not without a good set of thick curtains, anyway.
Well, let's knock.
Yes, may I help you?
Are you Linda?
Hello, ma'am. My name's Miles Fordham, and I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
I'm terribly sorry, darling, but I simply don't have the time right now. Perhaps if you come back next week, I'll be able to answer your questions then.
This is the Spectre Society, right? I'm interested in joining.
Ah, yes, it is. Welcome, darling. Our membership process is
That
a
was
bit
too
different
simple.
to most social clubs. We require a sponsor.
Sounds simple enough.
Well, you see, we ask that sponsors be people who have passed on into the spirit world. Once you name your sponsor, I will attempt
A
communication
dead person.
beyond the ether. When they answer, you will be judged
Are you kidding
and
me?
considered for membership.
Okay.
What are you looking for in a sponsor?
A willingness to communicate from beyond the ether. Open-mindedness, a desire for truth. In other words, all the qualities of a member of the Spectre Society. Actually, we've had former members who have passed on act as sponsors before.
Okay.
I've got a sponsor.
Excellent. What is the name of your sponsor, darling?
Well, Bill.
Bill Leger
Right?
is my sponsor.
Seriously, Fordham? I thought you knew better than that.
Bill Leger.
Shut
Very
up.
well. I will attempt to communicate with him.
She can do this all day. It's not gonna work.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble communicating. Perhaps you can come back and try again later.
See?
What?
Told you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Let's give the other name.
How may I help you?
I'd like to name a new sponsor.
Yes, of course. Who is your new sponsor?
Make up a name. Jonathan Davis.
Jonathan Davis is my sponsor.
You knew Jonathan? He was such a kind man.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can feel his presence, and it speaks positively of you. Please come in.
He didn't even know me.
I am Angela Maxwell, the founder of the Spectre Society. Welcome.
Great.
May I offer you some refreshments? Some water or tea, perhaps?
You're very kind, but I'm afraid I must decline right now.
Well, please let me know if you change your mind.
Would you look at this place? It's like a candy store for psychics.
Okay, let's save. I like that photo
Those
of
are
the
some
twin
creepy
girls.
I could see a passing resemblance
Oh,
to
yeah.
Miss Maxwell, actually. There's quite a few members in this group.
Let's check that out. September 19th meeting. Angela Maxwell, Monica Brown, Sophia, Linda Walker. Let's see comments. Angela, the meeting was wonderful. Anyone in a used spirit board, please let Thomas know. Linda, looking forward to having you over at the manor next week. Come around 8 p.m. and you can meet Charlie. But Linda would... Next week. Interesting. Meet Charlie. Why would...
Must be for the more traditionalist members. A great man once said to
Crystal
me,
ball.
Bill, you aren't going to get very far in life just staring at balls. He's dead now. But then again, so am I.
Strange device.
What a fascinating device.
Oh, like the Ouija
Exactly
board?
what does it do?
That is an etherometer. It's designed to pick up vibrations from the ether and translate messages from the spirits.
That's probably the storage case for the spirit board.
I think I've seen one of these before. What does it do?
It's a spirit board.
You talk
We
to
use
spirits?
it to contact spirits, and they in turn spell out a message with the letters on the board.
Well, I've got a message from Miss Maxwell if she ever tries to use a spirit board around me. Ooh, spooky. That ghost between the two people almost manages to look convincing.
Bookcase. Let's check this. Secrets of astral projection. Metempsychosis?
It's nice of Miss Maxwell to let
What's
people
this?
borrow her books, even if they are all just a bunch of
Mem-
nonsense. And coming from me, that's really
Members
saying
are free to
something.
borrow books as long as you can check me with me first. What lies beyond the veil? Mediums. Gateway to the spirit realm. Voodoo in New Britannia. Terrors of the Deep. The Giant Squid. The Art of the Seance. Spirits and the Ether. Secrets of the Ether. Okay.
The plaque says Leonora Pattinson, seer. She looks like someone I would not want to fool around with.
Huh. Okay, so we have
There's
this
quite a few
note, very important, from Linda. Looking forward to having the people around 8 p.m. so you can meet Charlie. Henrietta. Please ask the spirits to cure my son's illness, Sophia. Wait. Miss Davis, Malcolm, ransom note. Okay.
I never much cared for all that mystic stuff. Why should your life be dictated by a bunch of cards?
Alright, that's fair. Let's talk to her.
Could I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
Certainly, darling.
A few things.
What made you decide to start up this club?
I began communing with the spirits at a very early age.
My twin sister, Rachel, died after falling into an icy pond when we were 8 years old.
I'm very sorry, Miss Maxwell.
Oh, I appreciate your sympathy, darling, but don't feel too bad. Rachel began speaking to me shortly after that. She has served as my spirit guide ever since.
Spirit guide? You mean you still speak with her?
Oh, yes. Every day. In fact, I was just speaking with her before you arrived. As I grew older, I realized there were others in the world who were also able to communicate with spirits, and those who had an interest in what lies beyond the ether. And so, once I moved to New Britannia, I decided to start up this club so we could gather and share our experiences.
Do you suppose she can hear what I'm saying? Hey, Angela, try a bit less eyeshadow.
Probably
would you?
not.
You look like a purple raccoon. Nothing. Clearly a fraud.
Yeah, that's...
well.
Okay.
I was wondering,
Yes?
when you communicate with the spirits, are you able to stop?
If I wish them to leave me, yes. I bid them farewell, and they usually depart back into the ether.
What about the more persistent ones?
You do remember I'm right here, don't you?
Well, just between you and me. Those spirits are best dealt with by having the other kind of spirits. Quiets them right down.
I prefer soporific myself.
Oh? You hear the voices of the spirits as well, Mr. Fordham. But of course, now the reason for your visit to the Spectre Society is obvious. Do you see?
I
All
don't
our
think it's
paths
obvious.
eventually become clear. I'm glad yours has brought you here.
Oh, wonderful. Now she started rhyming. Don't get any funny ideas about telling her about me. She may be a lunatic, but that's no reason to expose yourself as one too.
Thank you for the info.
Okay. 1 second. Let's save.
Could I ask you about some things?
Just for, you know, safety reasons. Okay, tell me about Bill. No.
What can you tell me about the Spectre Society?
Tell me about the
Where
society.
to begin? I formed this club 2 years ago, right after I moved to New Britannia. During our meetings, we discuss our experiences with paranormal phenomena and organize investigations.
What sort of investigations?
We look into places all around the city which have been reported as haunted. New Britannia is teeming with the spirits of those killed during the French and British takeovers of the city. Not only that, but there is a prevalence of mystic religious practices here in Gascon, brought over by immigrants from the Antilles.
Fascinating.
There are plenty of books on the subject over there in the bookcase, if you're interested in learning more.
Yeah.
I spoke with Henrietta
about Linda.
Davis, and she mentioned one of your other members, Linda Walker. Can you tell me anything about her?
Ah, Linda. Poor dear. Of all our members, she is the one I feel for the most.
Why is that?
She's had a tragic life, but I believe the Spectre Society has helped her greatly. Not only has she made a good friend in Henrietta, she's also dealt with her grief in a positive way. She has devoured my collection of books, educated herself on many subjects. I would say she's become
Like
an
what?
expert on clairvoyance and metempsychosis. It's always nice to know that the club can help those who have suffered.
Do you see her often?
Yes, she comes by about once or twice a week.
I'm sorry, what was it you said? Madam Psy, what?
Metempsychosis, darling. It's a philosophical term which comes from ancient Greece. It refers to the transmigration of the soul after death.
Is that anything like reincarnation?
Essentially, yes. There's a book on the subject over in the bookcase, which can tell you far more than I possibly could.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that.
What can you tell me about Linda and Henrietta's friendship?
It's so lovely to see them together at the meetings. They're practically inseparable. It's quite sweet. They often leave messages for each other in the guest book. When Linda found out that Henrietta was taking care of an infant, she even gave her a toy bear for the child. I remember Linda lighting up with excitement when she asked about him. She really loves children. It's such a terrible shame about... But please, let's discuss something more pleasant, shall we, darling?
Thank you for the...
Sure. So wait, was that message specifically for Linda?
There's quite a few...
The message in the guest book? Yeah. So, okay, so Henrietta lied. Lied because she got...
Do you know anything about the kidnapping of Charles Harris?
I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about any kidnappings, darling. If you wish, I can commune with the
Convenient.
spirits and see if I can help locate your missing person.
That won't be
Oh,
necessary, Miss
Jesus,
Maxwell,
no.
though I appreciate the offer. What's this tragic story about Linda you mentioned?
Oh, dear. I probably shouldn't say.
Just say it.
Miss Maxwell, I'm going to be frank. I'm investigating a kidnapping, and Mrs. Walker is a person of interest. I need to know as much about her as possible to help me solve this case. Do I make myself clear?
Well, if it will help, Linda was married to a man named Thomas. Together, they had a son named Alexander. Thomas revealed himself to be a terribly cruel man. When he gave himself over to the drink, he would fly into rages and beat both Linda and the boy. One day, she came home to find both her son and husband dead.
My God, what happened?
The police ruled it a murder-suicide. Poisoning, apparently. Linda has been trying to make contact with Alexander's spirit for the past year or so, but has had no luck. It really is a terrible tragedy.
Do you know Linda Walker's address?
I'm afraid not, darling. Linda has always been somewhat private, and that's not something I consider to be crucial information.
The book.
Do you know
The
any way
book
I
may
can
have
find
something
her?
then.
You could always come back for our next meeting. It will be the first Thursday of next month.
By then, we'll have completely
that's too
lost
long.
track of Charles. There has to be another way of finding Linda.
Yeah, the book.
Thank you for the information. It was very enlightening.
It was my pleasure, darling.
Okay, I'm not gonna tell her about Bill. Okay? Let's see what we get. Return to Upton and accuse Malcolm Harris. No. Find out the significance of Arthur's gifts. Okay. Common jacket. Ransom note. Okay, let's check the book. Which one is it? This one. Okay, from the Greek meta. Okay. No. Wait. Secrets of astral projection. What? No. What? Oh, whoa, what objective added? Confront Arthur Devons about voodoo practice? Oh! Right. Basic is okay. Wait. The religious practice commonly known as voodoo originated in Africa. Where is it? Let's see. Misfortune summary. Grisk is designed to bring a gambler luck. Wait. Would contain camel flannel, whatever. Grisk sending an enemy contains something like gunpowder or red pepper. No. Oh, this one. To bring someone bad luck in business, the Grisk would contain chicken bones and graveyard dust. So that's why he was sending those. Okay. That's interesting.
It's nice of Miss Madden coming from...
How would I find out what she... You know what? I'm gonna have to probably ask Henrietta. Okay. Let's go and confront... let's talk to Miss Davis first.
Hello again.
Because they're really good friends. She must know where she lives.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
I couldn't help but notice that chest full of dolls in the corner.
Oh, that. Oh, I know it must look a bit strange, but I pick up old and broken dolls so they can be repaired and donated to orphanages. It's my way of giving back to the community and helping poor children who have nothing to play with.
Well, what a kind soul. I wish she would find less creepy ways to express her altruism.
Mrs. Davis,
okay.
Have you ever had Linda visit you at the Harris Manor?
Oh, no, of course not.
Then would you care to explain your note to her in the Spectre Society guest book?
Busted!
Please, Mr. Ford,
Busted!
I didn't mean to lie to you. It's just that it gets so lonely by myself in the house at night. So every now and then, I invite Linda to come over for tea and some company.
I see. And when was the last time this happened?
2 nights ago. please don't tell Mr. and Mrs. Harris, Mr. Fordham. If they found out what I was doing, they'd have me dismissed without a reference.
I won't, but I'd very much like to speak with Mrs. Walker. Do you have any idea where I can find her?
All I know is that she works as a seamstress at a shop in Lyon, but I don't know the name. I'm sorry, I can't be of any more help than that.
Thank you for your time.
SS maybe?
Oh, you're
Something?
very welcome.
Seamstress. No, you're very welcome after I lied to you to your face. Track down Linda Walker. Yes, that is something that we need to do. First though, let's talk about voodoo with someone. Mr. Davis.
Yes?
Devins, whatever.
Mr. Devins, can you tell me about this note?
I've never seen that before in my life.
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure?
Absolutely. It's as I told you. I had nothing to do with that boy's kidnapping. I didn't even know he existed until you told me. Remember?
Yeah. And that note conveniently showed up right after you had that conversation. Let him stew in his own way.
Exactly, yeah.
His unique way of spelling is all the evidence we need to tie him to the note.
Very well, Mr. Devins. Forget I asked. Good day to you, Mr.
Okay, 1 second. I need to get rid of the... Okay.
Mr. Devins?
Thank you. Shut up a little bit. Okay.
Do you practice voodoo, Mr. Devins?
What?
The chicken bones and dust you send along with your letters. It's a voodoo spell meant to cause bad luck in business. Quite a convenient solution, wouldn't you say?
I don't know
Busted.
what you're on about.
Come now, Mr. Devins. I'd appreciate it if you didn't think I was stupid.
All right, fine. I went to go see one of them magic women in Gascon. She told me about the spell and what I needed to do. I don't believe in the stuff, but I thought maybe if I used it, I could scare Harris enough to get him to stop making the new airship.
Well, I don't mean to be one to put a damper on your amateur witchcraft, but it doesn't seem to be doing you much good.
No, his grandson got kidnapped. That's not something I'd call lucky.
Good day to you, Mr. Devins.
But it's not business related.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
This Arthur Devins joker is bad news. Not only is he making threats to the Harris family, he also has the nerve to send a ransom note. We have enough evidence to pin the crime on him, I think. The police can deal with the
he's
headache
not
of
it.
actually finding the baby.
Yeah, but I know. I'd like to find the baby myself. Shut up.
And watch another bringer of fiery death hover over us.
Okay, let's check the casebook. Return to open the accused Arthur. No. I need to track down Linda Walker. That's very important. So let's... maybe I can talk to my wife about this? Maybe she can help somehow?
Home at last.
Hello, Miles.
Hello, darling.
Addie?
What do you need, dear?
Guidance.
I'd forgotten how good you are at écarté. You absolutely destroyed me the other night.
As I recall, you used to hold your own pretty well.
We should have another match soon. That way I can hone my skills.
Yes, we should. As long as you can concentrate, I'm sure you'll get as good as you used to be.
You weren't kidding about business picking up. You're averaging what, about 3 appointments per day?
More like 5. I told you, debutante ball season's busy.
Doesn't it get tiresome?
Not really.
Yeah?
You'd be surprised at the sort of gossip I hear from my clients. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I
but they
want
just
some of that
open
gossip.
up to me and tell me all kinds of personal things. You sure you don't want me
You
to
could
give
be a
you
psychologist.
I'm fine for now, dear. Thank you. I can't believe the nerve of that narrow-minded old cow.
Who, Mrs. Delacroix? She's actually one of my nicest clients.
I don't know how you can tolerate her. If I were you, I'd strike her off my list.
If I did that for every one of my clients who thought the
you're
same as
exaggerating.
her, I'd be out of a job. That's just the way it is.
Maybe so, but it doesn't make it any less infuriating.
Chillax,
Have you ever heard of a group
chillax.
called the Spectre Society?
I think I had a client.
Oh, that's
once who mentioned
SS.
it. There's some kind of spiritualist group, right?
So it would seem.
I don't
Who's
really
that
know
client?
anything else about them, sorry.
How are things
Oh.
going with you?
I'm a bit worried about some rumors I've been hearing.
Oh?
They're saying it won't be long before automated hairdressing devices are available to the public. And
Nah.
once that happens, it's going to be tough for me to keep getting jobs.
Automated hairdressing devices? How would those even work? Do they read your mind?
Doubtful. More than likely they'll have some kind of settings or just give everyone the same type of hairstyle.
I wouldn't worry too much, Addie. You're the best hairdresser in town. I doubt people will place their trust in some contraption over you.
You underestimate my clientele, Miles. They're mostly all rich socialites whose hobbies are buying the most expensive and modern things just to outdo their peers. They'll be sending their servants to line up for days before the things are released.
Perhaps, but they'll come running back to you once the machines stop working. You'll see.
I certainly hope so.
I'll let you get back to your book.
Let's check the newspaper. Let's see. Dupree scandal shocks Gascoigne society. Right. Protest at Airship Yard. Prime Minister re-election campaign. And sabotage blamed for brewery explosion. Okay, so how the fuck do we track down Linda?
Have a lovely day, Addie.
Give my regards to Constance.
Well, oh yeah, maybe we can talk to Upton a little bit. Help us track Linda Walker. How hard can that be? Come on.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Can we go over my current case?
Of course. What have you got?
That's enough about the...
Okay, first of all, that's too loud. That's too loud. Okay.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Can't hear stuff. Okay.
Can we go over...
Of course.
Alright,
found this
let's
torn
talk about
piece of
this.
fabric at the crime scene. It's got an emblem with some initials on it.
I recognize that emblem. It's from Solomon Stitching, a little tailor shop in Lyon. My ex-husband had several jackets from there.
Sorry to dredge up old memories, but do you remember where they're located?
I believe it's on the corner of Bonneville Street and Surratt Avenue.
Fantastic.
We're gonna go there.
You're helpful as always, Upton. I found this button at the crime scene. The child's nanny identified it as the eye of his stuffed bear.
Did you find the bear at the scene?
No, the kidnapper must have
Nope.
taken it as well.
Interesting.
Either the kidnapper is very compassionate, or it's someone who knew the child.
I'm gonna go for option B.
I spoke with Henrietta Davis, the Harris family nanny.
A sensible place to start. What did she have to say?
She claims to have been unconscious when the kidnapping took place.
She must be an extremely heavy
Convenient.
sleeper.
I don't believe so. The way she described it made it sound like she was drugged.
Interesting. Definitely worth looking into, I'd say.
Have you ever heard of the Spectre Society?
I think so. They're some sort of ghost hunting club, aren't they?
A spiritualist group, yes.
Don't tell me this case has taken a turn for the supernatural.
Not exactly. It's just come up as a potential lead. Are you familiar with the
Okay,
term
one more thing and then...
metempsychosis?
No, what is it?
Apparently some mystics and philosophers maintain that it's a process whereby human and animal souls are transferred to new bodies upon death.
Fascinating. Some people have such queer ideas. What's that got to do with the kidnapping, though?
I'm not exactly sure yet.
Well,
sometimes I'm jealous
yeah,
of all
exactly.
the odd things you detectives get to look into.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it.
Alright. Let's see. Well, let's go to that tailor, right? That will be one thing. That's an option. Right, investigate Solomon's stitching. Yes.
Good day to you, sir. Welcome to Solomon Stitching. I'm Jonah Solomon. Please let me know if I can help you with anything.
Isaac Samuels, the Prime Minister who freed the slaves. They say even his enemies wept on the day he died. I sure hope I get to meet him someday. It's quite the selection,
Really?
but I doubt the typical clientele of this place buys off the rack.
Let's
guy's been in
see.
business
What does I
forever.
have here?
My grandmother had one like that. I think it was meant to be relaxing, but it always felt like my time was running out. Now that it has, well, it actually is relaxing. Go figure. The design
Yeah,
of
it's
that
for the
coat
ghosts.
looks awfully familiar.
It does, doesn't it?
Judging from the position
Okay.
and the lock, this is likely where Mr. Solomon keeps his money. Impressive collection of pattern books. I wish I'd known about this guy when I was alive. I'd have asked him to make me a suit for my funeral.
Huh. Come on, chillax. Okay, let's save again. And talk to this guy.
Mr. Solomon?
Yes, sir. How may I be of service? Oh, let me guess. You're looking to replace that old coat. It looks like it's got quite a few stories it could tell me.
You should listen to the man, Miles. He clearly knows what he's talking about.
Not today, I'm afraid. There's still a few more stories it has left to tell. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Questions? Very well, but if they aren't about tailoring, I don't know how much help I'll be.
How did you get into this business, Mr. Solomon?
I was always good with a needle and thread. When I was a boy in Poland, I would help my mother with her sewing. Then, during the war with Russia, I fixed uniforms and stitched up wounds. Not long after that, I moved to Vespuccia, settled here in New Britannia. My first shop was in the Chum, but thankfully, I was very successful and was able to move to Lyon. I won't lie to you, this location is much, much nicer. It's refreshing to not have to step over drunken hobos when I open and close the shop.
Oh, but that's part of the charm of owning a business in the Chum.
Not much else to say beyond that. My business is my life.
You seem very dedicated to your craft.
That's right. You won't see any of that newfangled steam-powered nonsense in here. Everything is done by hand and with care. I use only the finest quality materials and stitch every thread myself. And that's the way it's gonna stay as long as I'm around. It's worked for 45 years. There's no reason to change as far as I'm concerned.
This is a nice shop you have. I never even knew it existed.
Well, better late than never, I always say. Life has a funny way of always taking us where we need to go in the end.
True. Although I think it's easy to miss out on things from time to time.
Oh, of course. It's easy to overlook the details, but in the grand scheme of things, you'll end up where you need to be. And in this case, you ended up here. So, please, feel free to take a look around. Let me know if you find anything you like.
I found this piece of torn fabric with your emblem on it. Can you tell me anything about it?
Yes. Brown, wool, houndstooth. This is from one of the more popular jackets I sell.
And here I thought my ability to name ales within 5 seconds of tasting them was good. This fella has me beat.
Do you have any of them in stock currently?
Well, sure. I've got one on the display dummy over there.
Is there any way you can tell me who you've sold them to?
Oh, I don't think so. I've sold at least 20 in the past month. As I said, it's a very popular style.
Yeah, but I know who did it anyway. It's...
Is there anything you can tell me about this button?
Looks like it's made of wood. Not very well crafted either. Definitely not from one of my products.
Do you by chance employ a seamstress named Linda Walker?
I do, yes.
Is she here?
No.
Really?
She has the day off today, but she'll be in tomorrow.
Would it be possible to have her address?
Begging your pardon, but why should I give it to you?
I'm a
private investigator?
It's crucial to this case.
Well, as I said, she'll be here tomorrow. You can ask her then.
It really is a matter of some urgency.
I'm sure it can wait a day. But if it were really that urgent, I would think the police would be involved, not a private investigator. I'm not obligated to tell you anything, so please, let's move on before I lose my patience.
I'll be taking my leave.
Very good.
Okay, let's try to save and ask him again.
I've got some more questions.
All right.
Please, Mr. Solomon, it's extremely important that I get Mrs. Walker's address.
So you said, but why should I?
I know I said I was a private investigator before, but there's a more delicate reason I want to speak with Mrs. Walker.
Oh?
Her son, Alexander, and mine were schoolmates. I just found a book he lent my son.
Oh.
I wanted to return it. I've been trying to track her down for
Yeah, but he wouldn't know that he's dead.
Out where she worked.
Oh, I see. It was a terrible tragedy what happened with her boy and her husband. I know how private Mrs. Walker is, but I'm sure she would appreciate you returning her son's book. All right. She lives at 403 St. Agnes Street.
Remember when you couldn't even bring yourself to trick people into thinking their shoelaces were untied? You've come a long way, Miles.
I'll be taking my leave of you now, Mr. Solomon.
Very good.
Alright, we got the address. And let's find the infamous Linda Walker.
Some people would call that humming and hissing the sound of progress. I'd call it annoying.
It is actually annoying. Okay.
It says here that Linda Walker is in the upstairs apartment, and someone named Douglas Emafiel is under the stairs.
SB plus CS. SB plus CS.
What? Who are you? Are you from the Steamworks?
Afraid not, sir.
Damn.
No.
Oh well, what can I do for you?
Why did you think I was from the Steamworks?
Because I contacted them a few days ago when my boiler broke, and nobody has come to repair it yet. I should have known better. Those fools always take their time, if they even bother showing up at all. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in here with nothing but cold water. If I catch pneumonia and die, you'll know who to blame.
Yeah, sure.
Of course. She lives upstairs. Who's asking?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find Linda so I can speak with her.
What's your business with her?
I'm afraid that's private.
Well, she's out right now. You'll have to come back another time if you want to visit her.
Have you got any idea when Mrs. Walker will be back?
Not for a few days. She told me she was going away for a bit. Ah, that reminds me.
Really?
She asked me to water her plants while she was gone. Just need to remember where I put the spare key.
Did you say something about having a spare key to Mrs. Walker's apartment?
Sure. I'm her landlord. I look after the place when she's gone. Got a bit of a green thumb, that one, so she puts me in charge of watering her plants. The trip up is a bit of a pain, though. My hips aren't what they used to be.
Oh, I can help. I can help.
It's of the utmost importance that I get that key from you.
Right. Private detective. I don't have to do anything you say. You're not really the law. So, nice try. But I'm not betraying Mrs. Walker's trust so easily.
He says that now, but I'm willing to bet he'd do it if it benefited him in some way.
Sorry to bother you, sir. I'll just be on my way.
Okay.
Miles, what are you doing? You don't know the first thing about steam engine repair.
It can't be that hard to work out.
Shut up.
If you're serious about getting it fixed, I'd suggest looking for someone who knows about this sort of thing first. But if you just want to charge in blindly, be my guest.
Okay, wait. Who would know something about steam engines? Who could I ask? Probably not the Spectre Society. Maybe Harris? I don't know.
I'll let you know if I...
Oh, okay, no. Construction yard, maybe this guy?
He's busy with his pro.
No. Who could I ask? This guy, maybe? Because I don't think I can read any.
I've got some more...
Go ahead then.
Do you know anything about fixing a steam
Oh yeah,
boiler?
boiler.
Bit of an odd question, isn't it?
I thought perhaps you might have occasion to fix your heater.
I do, but when the occasion comes, I usually just call a repairman or someone from the Steamworks.
Fair enough. I think that's all for now.
Steamworks. But who's from the Steamworks? Would be from the Steamworks. Oh, these the people here, right? They're. Oops, sorry. Sorry. They work here, right? And they should know.
Don't these people have...
And so we say...
Steamworks. Maybe this guy knows something?
Back. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
I think we...
No. So who could we ask? Someone at the coffee shop? Yeah, she wouldn't know, would she? Oh, let's see.
Can we talk?
Go on.
I mean, what's
Can
the
we go over my
try?
current case?
Of course.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about repairing
Yes,
boilers?
boiler repair.
Oh, sure. I fix 10 of them every day before breakfast.
Just thought I'd ask. That's enough about the case for now.
Oh.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
Okay, so she doesn't know. So who knows? Who the fudge knows then? Who the fudge knows about boiler repair?
I'm here.
Hello, Miles.
Your book collection is always a... Your book... It's been so long since you...
Addie?
What do you need, dear?
Someone who can
Addie, you wouldn't
repair
happen to have
a
any
boiler?
manuals on repairing steam engines in your library, would you?
Thinking of changing careers?
No, there's just
Not
a boiler that
exactly.
needs repairing, and I need to figure out how to do it.
A boiler? What kind of engine is it?
I'm not sure, but it had Whitney 200 embossed on the side.
Oh, of course. That's one of the most common steam engines around, used in practically everything. In fact, the player piano at the Firkin and Fryer had one, and that thing was always going out of alignment. If that's all that's happened with this one, I know how to fix it. Used to have to do it all the time.
Adelaide Fordham, you are
Really?
just full of surprises.
Where is this boiler?
Not terribly far. It's a townhouse on St. Agnes in Livingston.
Let's go then. I could use some fresh air.
Oh,
Not
nice.
quite a player piano, but it shouldn't be too tough. Would you like me to walk you through it, or would you prefer I fix it myself?
I appreciate it.
Please, tell me what I need to do.
All right, let's take a closer look.
Let's
Right,
see.
the first thing you'll want to do is open up the firebox door and light that coal on fire. And it'll be a good idea to open the engine hatch too, so you can keep an eye on it.
Okay. So this and this.
Fine fuel source.
That's the
That was
coal,
easy enough.
right?
What's next?
Now you want to open the flue and close the fire door so the water in the tank starts boiling. Once that happens, steam will enter the dome, and that big pressure indicator will start going up. Assuming the steam valve is completely shut, of course.
And if it isn't?
Then the pressure will be transferred into the engine and the small indicator will go up. You want to use the valves to balance out the pressure and get just the right amount into the engine before starting it up.
And what is the right amount?
If I remember correctly, it
Exactly.
was 3 on the small gauge. Less than that and the engine won't start. Any higher will tear the thing apart.
All right, here goes nothing.
Turn valve left, leave valve alone.
It won't go any further in that direction.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The water's boiling now. I sure hope you know what you're doing, Miles.
Well, what am I supposed to do now? Starter valve. No. Can she go over that thing again?
It won't go any further in...
Oh, okay. Okay, let's try now. Okay. Oh, does it need to be like exactly 5? Ah, maybe that's the thing. Right. Maybe that's the thing, it needs to be 5 exactly. On the head. Oh great.
Are you all right?
Yes, just a bit of a bruised ego is all.
What the? My boiler!
It's a good thing that I saved the game.
You're one of those saboteurs, aren't you?
No,
I'm calling.
Now you've really done it, Miles. Best not to
Okay,
stick
wait.
around here.
I think this is an excellent time to be going. I have my appointment with Mrs.
Okay, wait. Okay, let me. Going to be alone for a long time? Why? What happened? Let's load. Okay. Sorry. So, but I didn't get like. Okay, I'm gonna have to focus. Okay. Let's go back home. Let's save here.
Seeing you come.
Save here and because I didn't. Okay, I guess I didn't pay enough attention. Come on. Boiler repair. Because the thing is, maybe I'll need to.
Please.
Okay. Appreciate your help.
Right. The first thing you'll want to do is open up the firebox door and light that coal on fire. And it'll be a good idea to open the engine hatch too, so you can keep an eye on it.
Okay. Fire this up.
That was easy enough. What's next?
Now you want to open the flue and close the fire door so the water in the tank starts boiling. Once that happens, steam will enter the dome, and that big pressure indicator will start going up. Assuming the steam valve is completely shut, of course.
And if it isn't?
Then the pressure will be transferred into the engine, and the small indicator will go up. You want to use the valves to balance out the pressure and get just the right amount into the engine before starting it up.
And what is the right amount?
So what's just...
If I remember correctly, it was 3 on the small gauge. Less than that, and the engine won't start.
Oh!
Any higher will tear the thing apart.
All right. Here goes nothing.
Okay, so it's 3 on the small gauge. That's what I need to do. Okay. 3 on the small gauge. Okay. That is way too high. So... Okay, that's a 5. So 80. 1, 2, 3. I think that should be good, right? That's in the green zone.
Nice work, Miles.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Investigator
See?
thing doesn't work out, we can start our own engine repair service. Boilers are a lot like people.
That would be lovely.
They need to let off steam occasionally, or else they explode. You do well to remember that. Dear. Anyway, I need to be off for my appointment with Mrs. Lupone. I'll see you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, dear. Okay, let's save. Lower the freaking volume here.
Yes? What is it?
Well, fix your boiler for you. Biatch.
What? Are you serious? It's pretty pathetic when some yahoo off the street does a better job than the people paid to do this sort of thing. I owe you, friend.
Might I take you up on that offer and get that spare key to the apartment?
Oh, right. You said you were a private detective, didn't you?
Yep,
did Mrs. Walker
private
do something wrong? Is she in trouble?
Maybe.
I'm not entirely sure yet.
Yeah, I think she kidnapped a
That's why I
child.
want to take a look inside her apartment.
I see. Well, I wouldn't normally do this, but you did me a great service by fixing the boiler. I can't just give you the spare key, but I can let you into the apartment.
That'll be just fine. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't mind that. That's good.
What in the
Well, messy. Someone left in a hurry.
Cripes, did a tornado come through this place or what?
No, someone left in a hurry.
I wonder if she planned on ever coming
Exactly.
I'll be waiting for you in the kitchen, Mr. Fordham. Just let me know when you're done looking around.
Okay. Ooh, sorry, not load. Save. All right. Let's see what we have here.
There's a handwritten note here.
Some notes.
Valerian mixed with chamomile, sedative effects, deep sleep.
Seems Mrs. Walker's an amateur herbalist.
Maybe not so amateur. I'd love to see the look on Mrs. Davis's face if she knew it wasn't a spirit that possessed her. In fact, let's go tell her, so I can see it.
You've gotten fairly misanthropic in your death, Bill.
Have I? I hadn't noticed.
Okay, so what's the clue exactly? Linda's notes about plants. She could have drugged. Yeah, she could have drugged.
I don't know
her,
about you, but I'm starting to have my fill of plants and flowers.
Yeah, me too.
Torn apart.
Okay.
She took most everything. Well, it doesn't appear she had much to take. The books she left behind are all trashy romance novels. Why wouldn't she take those? They're
Oh, she
clearly
was
the best
alone.
ones.
She was alone.
I thought
so...
my apartment was messy. That bit of torn wallpaper looks almost deliberate.
Well, let's look into that. It's a secret
What do you
compartment,
know?
I'm sure.
She hid a book behind the wallpaper. Looks like a journal.
Let's read it. April 5th. I don't believe it. Can it be true? At tonight's meeting, I snuck up a conversation with Henrietta. Charles Harris was born the day Alexander died, and he has blue eyes. I know I shouldn't jump to conclusion, but this is too perfect to be a fluke. To be sure, I need to find something of Alexander's appropriate for an infant. Maybe his old bear? April 20th. Charles loved Barney. Henrietta told me she's never seen him react with such joy to any of his other playthings. There's no doubt now in my mind Charles Harris is the reincarnation of my beloved Alexander. Oh great, she thought that the baby was... Oh, her child reincarnated, great. At last we can be together again. At last I can seek his forgiveness. I just need to find a way to take him from his false parents without getting dear Henrietta in trouble. August 24th. I had a nightmare again last night. Alexander's cries of why did you do it, mother, were nearly too much to bear. When I have him again, I can finally explain that I couldn't do anything to stop him. Thomas was a monster, and I was at my wit's end. Dear Samuel had helped me so much, and there was no turning back once he had consumed the tainted pie. Oh. How was I to know Alexander's friend would take ill, and he would arrive home early? Watching my boy share the poisoned meal with his father was the worst moment of my life. Wow, she poisoned her husband and inadvertently her child too. October 6th. Finally, after months of thinking, I have a plan. Samuel's instruction on the nature of plants has been the key. I will visit Henrietta tonight at the Harris residence and prepare everything. It must look as though a burglar entered the nursery and tore his coat. Huh. In 2 nights, I'll have my baby again.
This is pretty damn incriminating.
Well,
I'll say.
It is.
Now we just need to figure out where she's
It's the
gone,
whole freaking plan.
as well as how she managed to drug Mrs. Davis.
Oh, we've got you now, Linda.
Okay.
Thought you could be clever and get away with the baby, did you?
Bill?
Well, you thought wrong.
Chillax.
Fordham and Leger on the case. The only thing you're getting is a one-way trip to jail.
Bill?
And the worst part is how sloppy
Chillax.
she was. I mean, really? She couldn't think to pick up a button? She might as well have left a signed confession in the crib for all the good it did her.
Bill, would you just shut up, for God's sake? Huh? Is everything all right?
Yes, everything's just fine. I just stubbed my toe on the bed frame.
You also be more careful, Mr. Fordham.
Right.
Sorry, Miles. You know how I get when we're close to solving a case.
You always do this.
Yeah,
I need
but
to
chillax,
concentrate.
we
I
haven't
can't hear
saved
myself
it yet.
think with you yapping away.
Right, sorry. I'll keep it to myself.
Thank you.
But you have to admit, she really would have saved us the trouble if...
Oh, shut up.
Right. Not another peep. As you were. Well, at least that painting cheers the place up a little bit. A fairly recent model. Linda must have spent a good portion of her wages on it. Nice patterns. I wonder if Linda makes all her own clothes. It's a boy.
Maybe.
Can't be more than 7 or 8 years old. If that's Linda's son, why would she leave this behind?
Because she thinks
Because she
she's got the
has
real
her
thing
son.
done.
Exactly. Well, let's save. And I guess we're gonna... Well, what's the Linda's Yeah. And about plans. Okay.
I hope you were able to find out what you needed.
Yes, thank you for your
Oh, we did. We did. Let's talk to Henrietta. Because we still don't know where the fudge she is.
Hello again, Mr. Fordham.
Okay. Let's save again.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Well, it's more like a
Mrs.
statement.
Davis, where did you get the tea you drank on the night of the kidnapping?
From my own private supply. I drink a blend of hibiscus and elderberry. It clears the mind and puts me more in tune with the spirits.
Did it taste off to you?
No. Why do you ask?
Because I think your tea may have been drugged.
Wait, are you saying?
I believe Mrs. Walker used
Yes.
her own herbs to drug your tea, knowing you'd drink a cup the following evening. She then snuck into the house after you'd fallen asleep and took the child.
Oh, my word, I never would have thought.
I know, Mrs. Davis, but don't worry. I'm doing everything I can to find her.
Oh, may the spirits guide you, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you
Oh
for
yeah,
your
the
time, Mrs.
spirits,
Davis.
yeah.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Well, she didn't
I'd
really
say
help
we have
much.
everything we need to prove it was Linda who drugged Mrs. Davis's tea and took the child. It would be ideal if we could find out where she's gone before reporting back to Upton, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Of course. Of course I want to report, like, oh, the child's back in with his family. So, Linda Walker. I don't even know how she looks like. Alright, let's go talk to the Spectre Society.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
Yeah, unfortunately, not
I ask you about
on
some
good
things, Miss Maxwell?
terms.
Certainly, darling.
Thank you for the information.
It was
No, not that. Okay, not that. Not that. Maybe I can ask the boss where she left?
I think we've gotten all we...
No. Well, who would know? That's the question. Because it's like, return to Upton and accuse Linda, return, track down Linda Walker. I have no idea where she is. How the fuck am I supposed to find her? That's the thing.
That's it.
Wrap up case. No, I don't want a wrap up case. Okay. So we don't have. Where could she be? Oh, no one home. Where could she be? Linda. Wait. Let's check the clues a little bit. Knows Linda's tragic past. Mrs. Davis. She intended to kidnap the child. Malcolm Harris. But where did she go?
I'll let you know.
Where the fuck did she go?
You should talk to the lady.
Yeah, she's not maybe I missed a clue somewhere.
Yes.
Do you think I'm... Oh.
Huh. Okay. Let's see, maybe I can find something here. Something that I missed.
You're actually gonna dig through that mess? I sure hope it's worth it.
Oh, but I clicked on that before. Okay. Let's see. Dr. Tullamarines South of Solution. Oh,
A
a
receipt with
letter?
yesterday's date.
No, what's
One-way
this?
train ticket to Pierre in Lorraine. Departed this afternoon.
Thought she could get away easy, it seems.
Interesting.
Well, I hate to disappoint her.
Okay. We got a clue. Alright. Let's oh, sorry. Solomon stitching. Okay. Let's get the fudge out. Yes, thank you, sir. Save. And now, new location. Wait. No. Wait. Receipt for one of the train tickets to Pierre was found on the floor. If it departed this afternoon, so there may still be time to intercept her arrival. Then maybe I talk to Upton and tell her to send someone at the station to look for the woman and the child.
Can we talk?
Go on.
Maybe.
That's it.
No. No. Then how can I? Talk to the Harrises, maybe?
I'll let you.
No.
Sit tight, Mrs. Harris. Sit tight.
But how would I go after her? After the... Because I don't know anyone that...
I don't think he's
This
gonna
guy
be
probably
of much...
doesn't. Yeah, so what? I mean, how am I going to intercept?
Hello?
I'll let you know.
All right.
See, there's nothing. Lyon. Swamp Forest. That's
Welcome
weird.
back.
So how would I... Because it's... No, so the only options are return and accuse Linda Walker. Okay, so... Okay, let's save. So maybe we can't just find the child. We can't just go and... Maybe that's the thing. So we just should report to Upton. And tell her to... that she'll find the child with Linda.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I'm ready
Okay,
to
let's
this
wrap
case
it up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
It
was
Linda
Walker.
Walker.
Who is she?
A seamstress who befriended the Harris family nanny. She took the child because she believes he's the reincarnation of her deceased son, whom she accidentally poisoned.
My God.
You'll find a journal explaining
Yeah,
her motive
the
at her
story's
apartment,
screwed up.
as well as the plants she used to drug Mrs. Davis.
But what about the broken window in the nursery?
All part of a false crime scene she set up to draw our attention away from her.
Excellent work, Miles. Did you manage to find out where Mrs. Walker is now?
Yes.
Yes. I found a receipt for a one-way train ticket to Pierre, which departed this afternoon.
Fantastic. We can send a telegram to the train station and have her arrested upon arrival. You've done extremely well, Fordham. Snelling could only hope to have a detective as good as you again.
You flatter me.
Then I'd better stop before your head gets any bigger. All right, Miles. I'll go through the proper channels and report your information as an anonymous tip. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Welcome to Lorraine.
Was that good?
What a cute baby you got there.
Oh, thank you, sir. This is my son, Alexander.
No, it's not.
Alexander. That's a good name. Strong name.
Yes, thank you. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in a bit of a hurry and I need to get to my hotel.
Of course. I won't
Right.
keep you any longer, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you. Wait. How did you know my name?
Arrest her immediately.
It was a lucky guess. But now, seeing as I know your name, allow me to tell you mine. I'm Sheriff Zeke Dollarhide. Linda Walker, you are under arrest for the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Surrender the child and come with me.
No, you've got it all wrong. This is my son. This is my Alexander.
Ma'am, please don't make this difficult. Come along to the station and we'll get this all sorted out.
Case solved. Nice.
Addie, are you home?
That was good.
Still at her appointment, it would seem.
Nope.
You know, Miles, I have to say, I'm proud of you.
Why's that?
It's because
Come on, that was a good
you
case.
actually listened.
So does this mean you'll keep
Oh,
quiet?
shut up. I would have...
I said I was proud of you. I didn't say
No.
you were getting a reprieve.
Then I need to figure out how I'm going to sleep through the night without the soporific.
You worry about that too much, Miles. You can sleep when you're dead.
You don't ever seem to.
That's because I slept quite enough when I was alive.
In any case, I need to clear my head. The best way to do that after a case was always going for a drink at the Angel.
The Angel? But you haven't been there since...
Since you died. But perhaps getting back into old routines will help.
Perhaps. It would be nice to see old Patrick again at the very least. Then it's settled. A drink or two at the Angel, for old time's sake.
Alright. Is something gonna happen on the way?
I have to say, it's been a real pleasure having you back, Miles. I was worried about you.
I appreciate your concern, Patrick. The past few months have been a bit rough, but it's good to be back in familiar territory.
Miles, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Well,
yeah, of course.
It may be none of my business, and you can feel free to tell me to stuff it.
Enough with the preamble, Patrick. Just ask.
I know you quit the force, but why are you still working as a private investigator? Why not leave all that detecting stuff behind?
Because it's what I do.
It's all I know. My grandfather was a cop, my father was a cop, so I became a cop. That's just how it went.
Oh, I hear ya. I come from 3 generations of butchers myself, but I broke the streak because I can't handle the sight of blood.
If only that had been true in my case.
Now then, will you be wanting another drink?
I'm not sure. I've already had 2. I should probably be getting...
Yeah, just go, dude. Go back home.
Patrick, do you hear something?
No, Miles.
Quiet.
I don't hear anything.
Exactly.
Neither do I.
It's quiet.
Another gin, if you please.
No more voices in
right
my
up.
head. Oh, that's not good. You know, being a drunkard is not good either. Oh, is this a little mystery man?
Must have taken a wrong turn back there. Hopefully Addie won't hear me come in.
Let's save, because this is suspicious. Shadowy figure. Is he gonna attack us or something?
Excuse me, sir. Could you spare a shilling?
Huh.
Here you are, my good man.
You always were willing to help the less fortunate, weren't you? But perhaps you should start thinking about helping yourself.
I beg your pardon?
Just look at yourself. I may be a beggar, but even I feel sorry for you.
Your voice. I've heard it before.
Yes, that's right. I'm your biggest failure.
What are you talking about?
Come now, Miles, you're not completely stupid. You think finding and catching me is going to make things better?
Yes,
yeah?
I do. I owe it to Bill, and that's enough to make it worth doing.
That's very touching. But you need to face reality. Let's say you do find me, and this grand chase finally ends. What do you do the next morning? You still have a dead partner,
I
no real
continue with
job.
my life.
Your wife knows you've been keeping things from her. Even if you
Yeah, I'll be
solve
fine.
100 cases, it won't relieve that empty feeling inside.
What's your point?
I'm all you've got, Miles. Once I'm gone, there'll be nothing left. So just admit it. You don't want to find me. Not really.
I'll find you.
Bad dreams?
Jesus. Oh, it's a...
You can say
Phew.
that. My head. How many drinks did I have last night?
You're asking the wrong
Too
person.
many, dude.
I was out after the first one.
It seems Miss Maxwell was right about the effects of spirits. Go figure.
Yeah, well, let's not make a habit out of it, all right?
Yeah, you don't want to be an alcoholic. So everyone, let's end it here because we solved the case. We solved the second case out of 5 in Lamplight City, and you know, if you want to check out the game yourself, and yeah, of course he's back. Of course he's gonna be back. We're not gonna get rid of the voice of our dead partner too soon. It's probably going to be all the way to the end of the game. Now, again, if anyone wants to try the game, try to solve the other cases, maybe make some other choices, then maybe piss off some people, why not? That's possible. Then you can check out Lamplight City. It's available for Windows, macOS, and Linux on Steam and on Good Old Games. Not on Humble Store though, not on the Humble Store. I was kind of hoping to add an affiliate link there, but no, it's not on Humble Store. It's on Steam and on Good Old Games. Again, everyone, this is Lamplight City, point-and-click adventure game from Grundislav Games. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, this live stream, please give it a thumbs up. Just click on the thumbs up button really quick. And if you like what I do here, consider subscribing. That would be immensely helpful if you could subscribe. And check out the back catalog, tell other people about the channel. I cover PC games, like a lot of them, so there's pretty much something for everyone. And since I told you about the affiliate link, you know, bookmark the affiliate links in the description. Use those, buy stuff with them, especially from the Humble Store, because that works. And whenever you do that, you help me and the channel out. It costs you absolutely nothing to use an affiliate link. So if you can, again, bookmark that in the description. Thanks again everyone for watching. Check out the channel because I'm going to post a gameplay video like in the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Probably it's of a first-person psychological horror game. It's not a very long game, so it's like maybe 15-16 minutes of gameplay. So that's coming up next, and after that, probably some Super Seducer tomorrow, because I think it was launched. So I think if it was launched and the other cases unlocked and the full release, then I'm gonna play those. If not, I have something else to play tomorrow, but Super Seducer 2 it looks like it's the first candidate for tomorrow's live stream. So that's gonna be for tomorrow. Thanks again everyone for watching, and until the next time we see each other, have an awesome day.